a grave injustice. How does it work out? I've never been in the army before, although I've been on parole many times. It has come from my parents. I think I turned out quite right. The parole of freedom for the better understanding and the learning process of a mind that can be captive but part of its life. The child growing up. Do you want to know what how about the gold miner's daughter? Who owns the gold? Do we need the gold to think? Is it something to do with our thought process? When we pee at the bathroom, is it actually gold coming out? Is part of the instrument in our body actually a part of a gold processing system of some sort? Is the gold more for communication purposes? Is the gold more for what? G-O-D says God inside a gold. The only one they don't use is the L. It could be the reflective light. That's what's inside of us. That L, G-O-L-D. God is number 26. And dog reverse is number 26. Card, game, number 26. 1313 is 26. 8 by 6 and 8 plus 6 is 62. 26 again. ZZ and ZZZ. They put ZZ at the top. Do you know why? Because the Q letter that comes with the birth in the heaven, that is not included in the piano unless you combinate A with G and B with G to get H and I, in which are the same letters sideways or on the 45-degree angle, or if somebody knocks you in the head and you look at it, you go, I don't know. I know I'm me, and I know I'm alive, so I must be H and I together. Hi. Otherwise I wouldn't be here at all. Are you in the army? Come into the army. Let me tell you, those bastards, what those bastards did over there, we're pumped up, we're going out to get them. Who are we going out to get? Who are they? One guy says to another guy, charge, and they all charge? What, we can't think anymore? Are you in the army? Your wife's at home? Oh, your wife's at home. She loves you so much, but you know what? It won't take much for her to think twice. He's in the army. Is he helping? No. He's not helping at all. If the people in the army want to help, you pull out a big table, a big round table, and you all stand around and go, why are we fighting? What's the problem? That's how you help out. We have to have one thing in common, okay? And it has to be a crystal ball. And inside the ball is a tic-tac-toe cube. Like this. And this is the laws. This is what says, how can we survive on Earth? That's how. And that's the only way we must live that way. Will we fight to get that way? No need for fighting. Somebody has to decide. Get on your computers, do a vote now. Will it always be perfect? No. And if we had a perfect life, oh my God, it's so boring. Well, you know what? We'll have to get out the Audubon, or was that Fantasy Island? Then let's go on our own fantasies. What's the difference if you knock them out or knock them dead? You got them anyways before he got you. Otherwise, what good is sports? You don't knock anybody out in sports. You knock them down, you get the ball, you go the other way, you win 10, 12 games at the end of the year. In war, it's one fucking long game. Hey, bud, what are we doing? We're in the foxhole. The foxhole? I thought the foxhole was on CNN when Fox showed up before the other cameras. Number 45. Gold is number 38. The only difference is 12. Do you know why? Because there ain't no 1, there ain't no 2, and there ain't no you. It's the number 3 card. It's the one that connects this to this to this. Is missing. But she's missing as 1 and 2. So what is she as 1 and 2 that's inside of you? Which one on the dice? Is the dice this way? Is the dice this way? Which way is the 2? And what does 2 have to be connected to? Well, one of the 2s has to be connected this way. Would you say that's your hips? I go, that would be wide hips. Wouldn't it be more like this? Well, that would be shoulder to thigh. So I'm not going to go into there. But I do know the L God. Inside of God is an L and it says gold. The L has an E in it. So it's EL saying, I am the gold. And you know what's funny about E and L? E is the 5th letter, L is the 12th letter. E and L, 5 and 12 is 17. That makes the number 8. Where the Z now connects with the H and the Q. ZQH, all in one area. But the H they can't hold and own. Why can't they own the H? Because number 35 is a number. It's the electronic world. It's the energies. And it is what it is. We all get the same energy. Otherwise we fall down. And you know what's funny about that energy? What color is it? It's in the cards. Look at all the cards. It's gold. It's the mind. It's the spirit traveling from one world. They intercept something between the two worlds. Ring spun. Bob Marley didn't do it purposely. So what did we say? Someone's going to come and get us. Like if somebody comes from outside this world to come and get us. To me, what I've seen over time, we're a speck in space. We're a speck in space. So if we were a speck in space, don't you think somebody knew where we were? How can you find us? We can't find anything for millions of miles. They found us. And if they found us, whatever we have, all they do is zap, and they change the electronics of the system, the radiation. Because isn't there a little bit of radiation, always radiant? You look radiant. I guess if you look radiant, there has to be some sort of radiation in the air giving off the light of some sort in some way at some time. So God, gold, the El God, means the God of the wing, the angel God, the God with the wing, because it says gold and God. So now they mixed up the two words together. If you put two O's, it becomes the good golden God. But they didn't want you to go to the golden calf. If the golden calf had horns, it was just like a bull god. Does that mean bullshit? Baloney? It's just a ham? Picking ribs? Gold. Now I'm going to look at a word right here. We're going to look at this word right now. I'm going to look at this word and I'm going to write it down at the same time as I look at it. And the word is, on the last page, is club. If it was a gold club, the number for club, that's right, 3332. It says I ain't got a clue, I don't have a light bulb, and I definitely don't have the hammer and the nail. But I have the flower. This is the flower. The queens and the two jacks have flowers. 3 and 12, the same L they have in God. B and G, G and B, the same too. Because 2 and 7 came together in the piano to create the I-9. 2 and 7 is 9. It's the beta world 9. How? 2 times 7 is 14. N, 2 plus 7 is 14. 2 times 7, 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 and 14 is 23. 14 is N. I is 9. 14 and 13 is 23. W. It says win a club. 3, 15, 36, and B, 2, 38. That's a nice number, isn't it? Isn't it a nice number? We're going to have to pick up this next piece of paper and see if it's as nice as the last number. Gold, 38. Club, 38. What are the skull bone numbers? What are their numbers? What is the number of love? It's all over here. Spade is number 45. Don't forget, in every single word there's another letter. S-C-A is a C. Okay? P-A-D is a pad. Okay, so every word is another letter, and because of its position, and because of the other words in the situation you're in, I mean, it's different. The guy says, I'm stuck, you know, and it's cold outside and it's a winter time. You wouldn't figure he was stuck on a word he was thinking. You'd figure he'd be stuck in the snow. So for each situation we have, when you say to me, well, what does it mean? I go, well, it's something brand new. It's in the making. It's in the oven. It's a child. Okay, bring it on over. It's a goddamn human being. He's not acting like a child. He's being born as a child. So we get the difference. Oh, are you in a war? I heard of those letters. R-O-T-C. R-O-T-C. Sounds like you're joining the alphabet club. The wings of an angel. Okay, 798819. Why? Because the little dot here, this is tic-tac-toe. So every place and coordinate has to have a reason. And you know the center one over here, on this side is a 3, this is a 4, this one over here is a 6, this is a 7. 3, 4, 6, 7 says 20. That means the center's worth 20 plus 5 is 25. But there's 2 of them for 2 sides, 4 corners and 4 in the center. This one has 2 bricks, this one has 2 bricks, this one has 2 bricks, every one in the corner has 3. Now I'm not going to give you a total, I'm going to jump over here. This is on your 6 key, and if you ever see this, because you are the 1 spirit, the 6, you are the 6 dice right here, living with the 1 heart ace. That's what that hat means, it's on the 6 key. The 7 key has the and sign because you're connected with the 8 heaven. You ain't here if you don't have 8, because how do you want to, where do you want to put? Where do you want to put your 6? Where do you want to put the light of man? It's got to go in a tube, in a body somewhere. Hey, I'm 8. I'm it, because I'm it. I'm number 29. 2 and 9, the beta world of time heaven. I got the moon on my head. My eyes are in front. I can see. I can think and see. I can, now I can smell and see and think at the same time. And at the same time when I speak, I'm using my body. Comes with it. They bring the whole thing. First they bring how you can think and do everything, then they put a blood system, and they interchange your blood, and then your blood goes into the head, and I got a new idea. The other thing we want to talk about is we have the gold and we have the miner. Inside of gold, okay, it's the gold mined, but in the gold mine is a miner, because he's digging for gold. That's what they say about your nose, you're digging for gold. So they're referring to gold as being information of some sort. They're referring to the flowers on the cards as some sort of transference of information again. Gold is the 11th letter. It stands for the queen. It stands for a wing. It stands for alphabet. Now, what is alphabet without the vet? Without the dog? Without the workhorse to do the work? You got to go alphabet is vet. 1 and 2 is 3. History. Miner. Mind or the rod. The golden rod, the electric lightning bolt. Tell me, now we have to look into the lightning bolt. Why do we have to look into the lightning bolt? Because we have to understand copper. We have to understand red is more than red. Red spreads out to a brown. Brown, they say, is some sort of a yellow. So somehow all this beach sand seems to come together to one color, in which orange is the 5-ball and pull, and the 13. E and M is R, resident angel. But how can we get a total of the L letter in that in pull? We can't. We can't get the L letter. What we do get is we get A and I in the same family. Both under 10, they both get to be the same ball. A and I gets to be the 10 ball. Together is 1. Why 0, 1? Because it's the birth spirit. They make 1. They're underneath 10. They make a whole. Together they make a whole. Apart they make nothing at all, but just an explanation of what 1 and 9 is. But together, the electronic world of 2 and 10 can connect up, which was blackjack, beta J, 2 and 10, and blackjack. Those are the letters that stand up. And then we have the electronic spirit, which is 3 and 11, and it comes 3 and 2, because 11 is 1 and 1 is 2, and 1 and 1 is 2 is also 3. By 1 times 1 and 1 plus 1 makes 2 and 1 again, which makes the wing of the golden angel. So again, it comes back to communication, and also 12 is the 12th letter, equals to a total amount of 78, in which king on top of that 12th letter would be a hat, which would be a hat. The L with a hat, which would be number 6, so then you have to go L and F. L is 6, and F is 6. Do you know why? Because on your keyboard, okay, the 6 has the hat on it. The L is the 6 and 6, and why did I have to put a hat on it? Because it was standing all alone. What do I do to that L? And the only way to give life, I need to give life to that L. I need to give life. I put a hat on it. So you put the hat now. Are you wearing the hat of the club? You wear the club's hat. It's got your 2 ears and your moon in the center and your life down here, and you become the club. This information package of some sort. And it's all wrapped up in the spade, because the spade is you. It's the heart. It's the totality of whatever, however it's created in you, the heart. Did you know if you took 2 hearts and flipped them upside down on top of each other, you'll make a beautiful design? That's a heart. And that's a heart. And if you want, you can have them either talking to each other, or you can put a hat on them. You know what I'm saying? And they become one, but they were two. And it's also 88, and it creates the diamond in the center right over here. And this is a representation of a club. And they connect you all together. Everything comes out in the designs because everything was designed. It's predetermined. It's been here before. We are so far behind. Anyways, let me turn this. So we have gold, we have the wing, we have the lady, we have number 78 and 78. And not only that, but the word 12 is also the number. Listen to this, 12. T-W-E-L-V-E. So now you have the elves. Why? Because first they were 12 feet tall and they were Anunnaki. Now they were cut in half and they're each 6 foot tall. They gave them an extra brain, a couple of extra arms. What was 18 feet tall became 9 feet tall. What was 36 feet tall became 6 feet tall. And therefore we'd have more minds and more brains. We can break up and do more things and become more specific. So with 12 we get T-W-E-L-V-E, 5, 5, and in 11 we have 5, 5, and 5. 8, okay, and 5, okay. No, just 8 alone and 11 are E family letters. So you have to understand why 8 is in the E family. Does 8 work? Yes, A has the mechanics, electronics inside of it. Follow? Jiggy, jiggy? Okay, T20, W23. TW, right away off the bat, the communication, beta creation, 232 or 322. TW is 20, and 23 is 43, Earth and Mars. Right away creates the moon. Right away creates a connection between the two sides. And ELVE of 12 is 11. It says student. When they play a game of craps and they go, yo, 11, they're calling 11 for students. And in here it's 12. Well, it is 12, but you can't count the part that's living. You can't count yourself as 2. So you become 6 and 6, 12. Take away 1 because 1 lives in 6. And 5, the electronic that makes you alive. 6 and 5. You don't need to say 8. 5, 6, and 5, 6, and 8 is where it passes through you. So we become 6 and 5. So 5, 12, and we have L in 12. 11 we have L, 11, and 12 we have L. Where else do we have L? Anyways, we'll get to that after. But 5, 10, 32, 42, 43, we have 44 and 43. Okay? It equals 87. 12 equals 87. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equals 78. Count the month of October equals 78. That says July and August. September is the 9th month, but scepter, or 7 for scepter, octagon for 8, 7 and 8 is set inside the numbers of the word of October, because everything starts with, oh, say, can you see? Oh, Canada. Oh, ma, I forgot something. Seems like everything starts with a, oh, wait a minute. You can't go, stop. Oh, can you please give me a minute? Oh. Did you eat your Cheerios? Like some kind of reflection? So now we have 8 and 7. But 8 and 7 are a reflection, okay, to not being in the corners. Here and here is 7 and 8. Here and here is 7 and 8. So it just goes on like that. And 7 and 8, if you want to take a look, this stops at 6. Okay? 7 and 8 are the first two numbers that tail each other. One of the reasons is because if you look at the American flag, they're going to have 7 red lines. But on the outside of every red line is not a red line. It's something else. Regardless of what it is of something else, count it as space. Therefore, count the white as space or the background. So you'll have 1 and 1 on the outside. Then you'll have 6 on the inside of space. Then you'll have 7 white. 7 red. Back to 12 again. It goes to 87. 7 times 8 is 56. 5 times 6 is 30. It recreates. 12 recreates in its number. 12, 1 and 2 is 3, and also creates the energy of 5. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2. Why 1 times 2? Because here's your 1 times 2. The other part comes in your DNA, 1, 5, and 9 in your DNA, in which, oh my God, I'm all over the place. I just keep seeing things. I take one puff of that stuff, and I am zoned in and so not confused at all. But I just don't want to lose the people that are trying to, whatever you're trying to do here. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Back to 12 again before I forget. Oh shit. Now it's 12 o'clock. 720 minutes. 2 times 360. 2 days have gone around. And all we did is start talking. You know, let's jump onto that. We have 3 leap years. Okay, let me go down back to this. Hopi Indians, leap years, gold. We were going to do gold. We'll do gold later. Now, listen to this. We have 3 leap years. Okay, just let's go slowly. Slow down. Okay, we got 3 leap years. Now, in every single leap year, okay, in every single year, we end the year at 365 days, but the moon cycle ends at 364 days. Oh, we're starting, wherever we start, we're starting from the beginning. Unless you want to start from a Wednesday, so then we'll have to be on the 28th of December of the year before, because now we have to overlap time. If we were connecting trains to where we back up the trains like this, and then we pull them forward, almost like the trains changing tracks. They go all the way back like this, and then they move forward. Well, that change of tracks is lost time. They haven't gone anywhere changing the tracks like this. So now they're on the other side. So we have to look like we're still moving, because otherwise something would be pretty weird. And at a certain time of the year, they say, okay, hold on a second, let's give them an extra hour for this one. Time out, extra hour. Wow, what is this? Okay, this is where we're going next. I'm going to try and get this light out of the way. You're going to give me a 30-second break. I'm going to come back here and we're going to talk about time, what's happening at the end of the year. And there's other things to do, is how to tie time together, how to tie one day together. I did it in a video before, but we have to find something specific to tie yesterday with today and today with tomorrow, that we can continuously go around and use the same formula and have reason. Because don't forget, I can say today we'll do 8 hours of whatever, but if it's for 6 days in a row, or is it 8 hours for 3 days in a row, what is the cycle periods? Because we have to keep going around, and the cycles have to match. So just give me a second, I'm going into my fridge. And I'm going to open up a can of the minute they came up with that rotten tomato theory, like, in fact, it doesn't matter what they say anymore, because I'm going to test it all before I believe anything. Unless it ain't going to hurt me, I'll try it. So let me see, we're going to go on to the next level, and we're talking about tying time together, because that piece on tying time is like 20 pages back from when I started hours ago. So tie up time, 8 p.m., 10 p.m., 6 a.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Not only that, I got to mark down time in metric, and somehow I keep coming up with 64 minutes is a metric hour. .64 minutes is a metric hour. Metric hour, 64 seconds equals 90 seconds. I'm just thinking right now. Okay, this is what we're going to do now. Now we're out of silver. I don't want to talk about silver and gold. But what's funny about silver and gold is that the number for silver is 85. The number for gold is 38. Okay? 8 by 8 and 3 is 11. 5 and 8 is 13. 8 and 11 is 2. 5 and 8 is 4. It becomes 2 and 4, man's day. Silver and gold, man's day. Hi ho, silver and gold, man's day. I'm not going to show you what this is. This is your part swastika figure. What this is it's the Budweiser bow tie, where you have the low bow tie here and the high bow tie here. We connected from the bottom foot here of this X to the corner foot over here. But when we touch over here, we're not touching here, we're not touching here, we're not touching here, we're touching here in the corner. When we go through here, there's an automatic circle. Everything splits apart. Right over here is a central station. You don't connect these wires. They're connected. This one's connected to this side of the station. This one's connected to this side of the station. But they're not connected together. They have to go through a passage. So this one, when it goes through, and at the same time, you see the shape it makes? A lamed in Hebrew, the heart. This equals 53, which equals 23, which equals 11. This equals 11, 8, and 3. They all come into their own category of having a revelation of some sort or another to each other. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to go to the leap year. And in the leap year, in the days of the year, there's 365 days, and on the leap year there's 366 days. Well, there's not really. There's still 365 point. You see, in the leap year, you're going forward in time. That day will put you forward in time. You've fallen back? Who said you fell back? How do you know you didn't start ahead to start with? And every time you go back, you're just pumping forward. Maybe you're 75, 3/4 or 18 hours in a day forward. We're not making up last year's time. We're taking back the time they took from us. Anyways, in a 3-year period, there's 6,480 seconds, which is 6 hours each year. 6, 6, and 6 is 18 hours. Now, if you multiplied 666, it would equal to 216. 216 plus the 18 is 234. They call that jail because the vibrations are in between 432. So you have 216 hours, which would relate to matrix time, or what I call piano time, because it would be of 6 days, of 1 day, and of 3 days. The 613 laws of Moses have to be used elsewhere other than just being 613 laws of Moses. And also at the same time, the 365 good laws, okay, are the same 365 days that I'm talking about, with the 245 other kind of laws have to do with time and space. 248 is 9 and 6. 9 is 7, 6 is 4, 9 is 7, and 6 is 4. Because the opposition of the 7 of these two are, how can I say it? Your birth through the gateway come in, and then you're with life with Saturn and Mars, and when they go, the 2 of those go. So it comes in pairs. Oh my God. And we were talking about Google, about the pear tree, about pairing up. Just like the Budweiser bow tie is not anything. If you do not connect the center dot to another dot, and you just put 4 dots, somebody really won't know what they do until their eyes and their mind connect the dots. So now anyways, we have 18 hours, okay? We have 18 hours, or we have 360 minutes each year that we do not use, the quarter of a day that we do not use, because we catch up in the leap year. So that would mean in those 3 years, if I was talking 360, okay, and the cycle is 3 parts. 3 parts is the actual cycle, because the 4th part makes up for the 3rd part. So let's say 4 was the actual cycle. Now I'm thinking here. So if 4 parts of the actual cycle, that means that last year actually makes up 1 year? Let me think of this. So 360 minutes the first year. If it was 360 degrees, we'd lose 1 day. If it was 360 degrees, we'd lose 2 days. If it was 360 degrees, we'd lose 3 days. But in the 4th year, 3 days lost. In the 4th is a leap year. 4th year is a leap year. And we gain 4 days. 4 days. 3 days plus 1. So I've been telling you, 3 plus 1. How was I figuring that? For every 6 hours that goes into the leap year, on our next leap year, each one is equivalent to a whole day. Okay? Every 6 hours is equivalent to a whole day. So when you go through the whole day of the 29th, you actually jump forward 4 years from the 365 to the 366. So you're jumping over, you're keeping the year for what you're at, plus you're jumping over 18 more hours, which is 3 more years. You lose 3 years, you gain 3 years, you're even for 1 year. 313, the same thing in the piano. And we all know what the piano says. Take every 3rd letter in the piano and use 8 letters per row, 8 days a week. That's what they said in the song. That's the way I want to do it. You can break it up a lot of ways and go A, B, C, mark the D. E, F, G, mark the A, go to the next line and do it again. You'll see underneath it'll start talking to you. But the piano is multilingual, so you got to put more languages up onto your letters to understand what each letter is over the piano world of sound. Oh yeah, the instruments talk to you, for sure. Oh, the music is fantastic. Whoever does whatever it is smart. I don't care what kind of system it came into to get us to be interested in it. The Los Angeles Kings, the gold, the ring spun, Bob Marley, gold, flour, marijuana, to need in the mind to think. The gold is up here, my friend. The silver is the water, the energy of the matrix electronics to go in and out and be able to use it, to communicate with us and use us for what they need us for. Take away the communication and we wouldn't care less of what they said and we'd have less. We wouldn't know to go to work. So we wouldn't go to work, we wouldn't do anything. We'd do something, but what would we do? We wouldn't even probably be thinking like this, thinking, what should I do? We'd probably be going, like, what does an animal do all day? So now we actually, what happens is we lose 6,480. But what's funny about 6,480, okay, is if we did it in 4 years, we now count 4 years to a leap year. Okay, and every year, the minute we hit the 365th day, the next day is the next day of the next year in which part of your day you've been sleeping. The other part was the connecting to the world, and when you don't count the last piece of this puzzle as the reconnecting day, because that reconnecting day is when we're going to be joined with the new Holy Spirit within our lives. And just like from nothing to something, we are going to hit on to something that is going to be the greatest thing that people have ever marveled about. But at the beginning, it won't be the same for everybody. It'll be like a swing. The real spiritual will start to connect, but that's only if they're heartful. But if you're heartless and regardless in any other of the worlds you would join, you'll be no better off in one than the other to begin with. So we have the last day, the 365th day, okay, in which now at this point, okay, we are 360 times 4. We are a complete 4 days behind, okay, or 1,440 minutes in a day. We went, do you understand where I went? Every year was 6 hours. 6 hours was 360 minutes. 360 minutes for 4 years in a row is 1,440. But if what it was 360 degrees, this would automatically make 4 days. That next day will make up 4 days. 4 and 4 days, you got 8 days you have made up. You have made up the last 4 days, and so you have made up 8 days. Why? Because you have fallen behind 4 days. Then you made up 4 days. 4 behind to 4 above, and that's a big difference of 8. What would you say? And it only happens in time. Because right at midnight, even if it keeps going, you go, look at that. We just connected tomorrow. We did. Yeah, look at that. We just connected 6:30 in the morning. You want to play a game of cards? What time is it? Oh, it's 5:29. Oh, 5:29? Everybody's being born. The electronics. Well, what position when you put the beta world in electronics? Number 2. 2 and 2 is 4, plus the 1 heart. I got a heart. Oh, is my heart beating? Oh, yeah. Full of color. It wasn't color before. Oh, how's your passage? Oh, the radiator's fine. The alternator's a little old, but I can do a little bit of grinding down below, my organ grinder. They say you put a little flurry out there, little flurry of snow, doesn't hurt. The goal for communication. Look at the cards that we play with. Look at the signs of life. Look at the chess and checkers tables. 8 by 8 is 64. 8 by 8 is 64 and 80. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 64 equals to your 80. It makes everything perfect. 80 is 88. Why? Because 0 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 1 and 5 is 6. I'm trying to lighten them up. Here's your 1 and 5 is 6, right? The doghouse. Z. You know how you make a Z? Comes from the Budweiser bow tie. I can show you. Z and N both come from Budweiser bow tie. But you see that? 6 is 8 and 8 is 6. Holy shit. 6 is 8. 8 from 6 is 14. We got the green ball and pull. Don't hit the stripe. The green stripe, that's the 14. It's on my back. Leave me alone. I've got the 14 on my back. It's the electronic number 5, but it comes on 14 green because it brings my life. Oh, I can move. Follow me? Game of pool? So now, like I said 2 minutes ago, we can back up the 3 leap years from 6480 to 1440. Let me see if that was right. 6480. No, that can't be right. No, that's not. Something's wrong. I did something wrong. I'm going to see what it is, okay? 6480 plus 360 equals 10,080. Wow, 1080 pi. It would be 1080 pi. So why did I end up with this? 3 times. Oh, okay, I see what I did. Okay, 360 and 360 and 360. Right, okay. I did a multiple of 6 by 6 is 360 by 6. So that number is no good. No, it doesn't say anything is wrong. All it says is the category in which I placed the explanation of the numbers. Okay, it's not the proper category. But the numbers still work and they still have the same basic meaning of time. It's still 8 times 8, which equals to 16, which equals to 64, which equals to 80, which is the chess game. 80 is what it's all about. 64 is 0, is, 32 and 32, the back door. Israel, Zion, there's so many things that are 64 and 46. 32, what can we go? 8 by 8, 4 by 4, 2 by 4 by 8, double 2, double 4, double 8. Oh, and you know what's funny about that? That in one of Rodin's cycles, it's done that way. So I have to look at this as 1,080, okay, in 4 years. So this is 4 days. And it's 3 days at 6480. Okay, so that still makes sense. So now when do we get 2160s? That's 2160 seconds if we would have did it that way. Okay. And another thing I wanted to show, when I 3 days out of 4, Earth and Mars. You know why it's Earth and Mars also 3 days of the non-leap years, 1 of the leap year, is because 3 strikes you're out and 4 balls you're on base. 3 and 4 is everything. You played a best of 7, you have to win 4. You play a best of 3, you have to win 2. You don't have to win one, you are the one. Where else is this? I did not do Nelson Mandela yet, but his name is fantastic. His name is fantastic. Another thing that somebody was talking, if you want to go to colors, and this one is long enough, I'm going to do this in my next video. I'm going to come back to gold. But just to remember that in horse racing, there's certain colors matched together, and in the pool game, there's certain colors matched together, and something that intrigues you within your own mind, something you see like the red 7, why is it the red 7? And the song that came out, Ruler, and the colors that are mixed together are royal, which is blue, and it's a navy blue, it's like a purple blue, and the purple blue comes from the 4 and the 12 ball. The 4 and the 12 ball is part of gold, because the 12 is the L in gold, which is the low light, L-O, in love, the part of gold in love. Why gold in love? Because the V, okay, and the D are from the same family, D4 and V4. Love and gold, the O both come to the same. The L come to the same, so you have L-O-V inside gold, okay, L-O-V. The only one you don't have is the G, and the G is 7 and 5 and 5 and 7, because you have the electronics passes through the 7th gate. The G, because 7 is created from 5 and 2, 3 and 4, 6 and 1. So what happens in that scenario is that inside of love, where can we find gold? Well, I'm going to have to piece that E5, L is 3, O is 6. 6 and 5 come together, the spirit angel of man. Spirit, angel of man, what they do on Christmas time for the spirit of man, the gold. The gold is sometimes the background to have a reflective, that whatever is in front of it, it's like a danger. The gold is like a yellow light. It's an expression. The gold on the signs, they show expression signs, and they put them orange and yellow, and it's an expression. It's the way we use our colors. Why and what colors are on Rubik's, and for what reason do we actually have these colors? Different designs we can get off of using this. Here's the lines, online or offline. Offline, online would be this cube, but it would have a line here, and a line here. It would actually have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it'll have 12 more lines. 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 lines makes up this space. 16 times 6, there's 96 lines that make it up. And then there's the outline. 97, 98, 99, 100 lines. In order to do this whole Rubik's Cube, you have to draw 100 lines. And then within the 100 lines, you will have 81 times 6, 486 positions, in which the position on the center, okay, if it was reflecting out, will now have our own positions of every single corner, and every dot and everything will just grow, and this Rubik's Cube will grow so big we won't be able to stand in this room. The electric, the air, the club, the spade, the time we use. The leap year is not getting any further. The only thing they do with that leap year, my friends, is they say, when they need something from you, they put you on holiday. They go on strike. They make something happen to force its computer to do what it has to do. Everything is purposely done. If there's a new sports team, it's going to be done because it has to work for the matrix. So the more we fight against it, the more we're going to start seeing its flaws. And the minute we completely against it, it means the joint public who works for it will no longer hold the key of silence. Do you know? This is the weirdest thing you might ever hear. Did you know that 30% of the people who are working right now in North America, 30%, they know they're not telling the truth every single day. They know they're showing up to a job where they have to lie every single day. They're lying to somebody every single day. Why? They do it for the company profits. And that reflects, it makes things more expensive. While some people get rich, they have all the riches in the world. If one is rich and everybody else is poor, they all suffer. If everybody has money, no one suffers at all. The money's the problem. We always knew that. Because people keep thinking it's the money. It's not the gasoline. Just we go too far, we spend too much for no reason at all. But if we'd stop going, but now it's a little too late. We're on a second drum roll right now. I mean, this is not the first time somebody came out and said what I said, and I'm saying it really because I saw somebody else's video. And it's true, and I've said it before, but I don't like to take the credit, but I'm saying it anyways just to get as little as I could. Everybody knows there's something else. The biggest fault in this world is the secret. If you want to blame anything in this world, the biggest culprit in this world is keeping a secret. It's the secret that got us into trouble. Because when there's a secret, somebody doesn't know. So what happens if somebody doesn't know when there's a secret, and somebody needs to know and they won't share it? Somehow, in a way, they will perish. Sometimes we must share. This is where the flexibility of life comes in, where we must learn what it means to actually share. What does it mean to share? Why should I share? Why should I tell him? I came up with the idea, I'm going to make all the money. Rob everybody, make all the money. It's crazy, this world. We all want to make all the money. It's so expensive. When do you stop? You go up a little higher, you get a friend who's a little richer, you climb another step, you got money. What are you going to do with the money? Honey, I'm investing today. Honey, I'm investing today. Like, what? This whole world is about investing. I'm going to tell you one thing, what I see in the future. These stock markets are going all to flip upside down, my friends. And you all know that. Where's the profits coming from? You're putting money in a stock market to a company where the boss takes home $60 million a year, $5 million a year, and the only thing that's getting you anything, because 90% of these places don't really give a dividend to crack shit on. And you're trying to beat your head because the only thing that's going to happen if you and your friend bought the same shares, and you sell out when it goes up, and he buys on the way up, and he loses, you're both pissed. I mean, it's too bad. I'd love to have a lot of money and go all over and be able to. But imagine you're going all over and everybody else is also going over. So now you're like everybody else again. So if you stay low and go up only a little bit and not any more than that, shouldn't you be happy to stay at midfield? Maybe that's what the 5 cents is all about. Maybe that's what 5 cents is all about in a way. The little hump, like this, just enough to look on the other side. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Okay, now here's the wall he was sitting on, and here's Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Oh! He had a great fall. You know why? You know why? We're going to do this again. Whoop, 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 whoop. We're going to do this one more time, and I'm going to show you something. Here, I'll show you it like this. I'll show you it like this. See number 4? That's Humpty Dumpty. He's coming up, and he's sitting on a wall. Okay? Now, Humpty Dumpty, oh! He had a great fall, and what happens? 4 turned into a 6. He became a man. But all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back together again. Humpty Dumpty was an egg. Your mother, her water broke. The river splashed and Humpty Dumpty, his omelet came out. Hey, buddy, what's happening? I'm Humpty Dumpty. I was the egg. Yeah. All the king's horses, because they had, all the mountains on the top. The kings and the horses, next to each other every night, they lie down, a boom boom. But my egg cracked. I am Humpty Dumpty. Welcome to meet you here on this planet. Don't tell me the this or that. In French, they don't say the H. And sometimes for the T and the D, they go this and that. So now what happened? That was the Humpty Dumpty story. This one I'm going to tell you next. Now, I don't know if I lost out. We're going to talk about, where was I? Was I talking about Humpty Dumpty, the egg, the year, the days, the club, the spades, and the ark? Call me a cab, ABC. Call me back, BAC. Okay? Alphabet calling. Who's calling? Calling. Alpha calling beta. Beta calling alpha. Beta calling alpha. Which way do you want to go with this? Put the R over here and the E over here, because AR in this family, B and E, could be the race. This is, try and envision this. Either you're an island, or you're floating, or you're the top of the mountain, or you're the bottom of a lake. If you are the bottom of the lake, okay, there's a chance that you have been bridged. When I say you have been bridged, what I'm trying to say, where's the bridge? Wow, I can't find it. Okay, they say you're the bridge. Whatever. Two mountains together. Imagine you pull away the mountains and put each piece of mountain with its valley. Okay? Or the oceans. Do the mountains go down to the valleys, the lakes, or the oceans? How does this planet split up? Because if you have an island, you swim under the island. Is an island floating? What's holding the island down? Is it roots? Or are you sitting on the core of an apple? Meaning that the ocean has pushed itself together and it popped up islands from underneath, just like a tree. And the land we drive on is actually the tree sitting on top of another piece of land that's underneath the ocean. Something's holding up the ocean, isn't it? I think. So, all this movement and earthquakes that we're hearing is because the underworld, my friends, must be coming apart. Whatever it is, it's coming apart. Every so many cycles, it's got to remove the islands again because it can no longer breathe or something. But something's coming apart. And this reminds me of a train going very, very fast. Where else was I? Colors, time. There was one other piece I wanted to do. The one last piece, the end key, right? What would you think the end key is? Enki? Enki the planet? Imagine Enki being very calm and very quiet. I mean, wouldn't you be quiet if you were watching from your home TV? Maybe Enki doesn't play in the game. Maybe he's just like what you call like a care package. And it's like Superman living in there watching what's going on in the other worlds. Because Enki's playing a sidestep role. And remember I said gold? That's where I was. G-O-L-D versus L-O-V-E, where V and D are the same, where O and O are the same, where L and L are the same, where G and E are different. These are all the same. Voodoo, love, evolve. Which way you want to do it? Jed or the Jedi, 505, Roman numeral 50, 55, 555. That's all it says, 555. So remove this, remove this, remove this. 555, and it's G-O-O. So would it be 555 or would it be 505, 505? Even if it was 505, 505, this one is a 5 at the same time. This is a 500. This is a 5 number. L is 50. This is the 5th letter and the 7th letter. This is talking about next year. 5775. And the love of gold. But gold is not just gold. It says George. In this is George. And by what I can see is George the 5th. Is there a George the 5th in this? Because if there isn't, then there is now. Because that's exactly what it says. Oh, and I did all of this at 55, the Mayan numbers, and the Anunnaki, the kings. Oh my God, this is such a mixed up world. What is the actual truth? Why are we here, and do we have interior lives? I believe we do, but there's a lot more study to check out what is going on. This is so exciting. Thank you for watching this video. Raphael 7286.